The phone rings and you know who it is before you look. Or you have a dream about somebody and then you see them in your waking life, like the next day. These are simple things that happen in our lives that can really show us that we have some type of extra sensory perception. If you're like me, you believe that you are more than just your body and that there is more to life than what we can perceive with our five senses. But being psychic gets a really bad rep. If I say that word to you, do you immediately picture like a gypsy in the back of a trailer, looking at a crystal ball with a head wrap or a headscarf? This is the very old programming that we get when we hear things like psychic. And I'm here to normalize these aspects of ourselves. They get demonized. They've been demonized in the Bible. That if you are getting your own awareness, your own intuition, your own guidance, if you're Christian and you are following Jesus, then you could be a seer, right, in your church, and you'll be celebrated for that. But then if you are not going to church every Sunday and you're more like me, where you are a disciple of Jesus and you believe more in Christ consciousness and you can see value in Buddhism or in different pathways where you think that there are many roads leading to this higher truth, if you believe that Christ was a person who walked on the earth, an ascended master, an energy that we can thank and have gratitude for and have a relationship with and call upon in Jesus' name, then you're in the right place. But if you also believe that having statues or other things aren't saying that you are not a follower, or that you're putting someone else above Christ, if you actually believe that you have the power, that you don't need a middleman, then you are in the right place. Long ago, we were told by the church that women could not talk to God, that you had to go to a priest, that there had to be a middleman, an intermediary, if you will, between you, yourself, us, our own consciousness, and connecting with the divine, the source of all things. I don't believe that. I actually believe, because of the path that I have walked, being someone who's had intuitive insight, who has had prophetic dreams that showed me things that came to pass, who has insights, who knows who's on the phone calling, or who has dreams and sees someone the next day. I know that there is extra sensory perception. And I'm here to dispel the myths and the conversations around demonizing being psychic, because I think it keeps women from owning our intuitive gifts and our power. Okay? So I'm not here for a debate. I don't want to get into a debate with Christians who are just following Christ and do believe that this is stuff that we shouldn't be doing. When I am connecting with another soul and communing and helping them to understand what's going on for them, it is coming from, in my belief, their angel, their ancestors and guides on the other side, their higher self. The energy, the one energy of the quantum field that permeates all living things. See, I'm a firm believer in now, this now moment. I love Eckhart Tolle and his teaching, The Power of Now. I love these spiritual books that point us to the idea that this is one field. This is one quantum field. There is one energy, and that energy can be in me and enliven me, and it can be in others and alive in others. And when I go to my yoga class, which I do, and I say namaste, I'm saying the divine in me acknowledges, sees, and honors the divine in you, or the light in me, or the source in me, or the God in me. We get hung up on these words. And if we've ever studied any Don Miguel Ruiz, if you ever read about Toltec wisdom, they really dive into that language itself is just a way to point to something, right? Even words themselves can't get at the essence of something. If I see a tree and I tell you tree, the word tree is just a way for us to talk about the tree, but it's not the tree. And if I talk about God or I talk about source or I talk about oneness, these are words to help us point to something, but they are not it. So I believe that there is this one essence, this energy that permeates all things, and that we have it within us, that we are it, that we come from it. A Course in Miracles says, you didn't create yourself, right? So if you didn't create yourself, you must have a creator. Now, listen, I've been through all the different thoughts in my life. I was raised with a grandmother who was really devout, born again Christian. She married the pastor in the church and she prayed over me and read her Bible every day. And when she died, she gave me her Bible. And to honor her, I read her Bible and I studied her Bible. I even joined a Bible group and I started going to church. But fundamentally, what didn't work for me were a few things. Number one, I kept just being like, where is the mother? Where is the feminine? There was just too much emphasis for me put on masculine, male, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And it's just like, I came from a woman. Everyone on this earth came from a woman. And I understand there's Mother Mary, but too many women's testimonies, gospels were taken out. I think it's been altered over time. And a religion that just doesn't acknowledge source from a woman or the divine holy mother that's more central than the father, I just couldn't get behind it. I just really couldn't. But I do consider myself to be Christian in a big way, but I'm not religious. I do consider myself to be a follower of Christ. I do think that this time on earth is about Christ consciousness. It's the Christos Sophia. Christ is the masculine and Sophia is the feminine Christ. She is the feminine mother counterpart. In the Gnostic texts, we hear about Sophia, the mother. I need the mother in anything that I'm going to follow. And so I've also gone into A Course in Miracles, which is supposed to be channeled in large part, a lot of people believe, from Christ himself, a different way of looking at the teachings. So any religion or Bible or sect or group of people who tells me this is the way and the only way, and you can't listen to anything else and you can't do anything else, and you're evil or it's the devil or whatever, if you're listening to something else, I just can't get behind it. But I honor that we're different and that we all have different beliefs. And so I'm not here to change your beliefs and I'm not here to get in an argument. So I hope that people will just move on if this is not the video for you. I'm speaking to the people who are spiritual, the people who have drawn on Buddhism, the middle path, recognizing our attachment, that causes suffering, who work on being mindful, being present in the now moment, who work on meditation, who work on overcoming our habits of our mind, right? But people who also pull from Christianity and realizing that Christ is this example, this energy, this awakened heart energy that we're here to actualize on earth now, and that is a powerful energy. And for me, the second coming, I believe, is all about the humans on planet reaching that Christ consciousness state. And so that's where I sit. And the purpose of this video today is just to share that a little bit and just to express those beliefs and just to share that being psychic comes from the ancient Greek word of the soul. Psychic means of the soul. So I just really want to normalize this word because I think it gets a bad rap and I think people misunderstand it. And so I think that if we can look at it in terms of the soul, Do you believe that you are here as a soul having a soul experience, that your soul evolves and grows? Do you believe that you have a body and your body is separate from your soul, that you are not your body, right? If that's okay with you, if you recognize this eternal part of you that may reincarnate, go through lessons, build karma, release karma, then you're in the right spot. And in my work in the world, I do work as a clairvoyant healer. So I sit with someone and I close my eyes and I tune into their energy. And I am shown pictures and images that I believe come from their angel and their higher self. And it helps me to reflect back to them who they are, what's going on in their energy field. What is this fear or this pattern or this stuckness that's coming up? What do they need to know to move forward? How can they heal? How can they evolve into a better version of themselves? I'm using my extrasensory perception. I'm using my empathicness. I'm using my sensitivity. I'm using my neurodiversity. I'm using trauma informed information from being young and being a people pleaser and coming from a childhood where I experienced CPTSD, childhood post traumatic stress disorder, that put me in a position perfectly aligned to learn everything I need to learn, to do the work I do now, because I was around people who I had to study and track and watch every move to be safe. And I had to people please and fit in and just learn how to really tune into others. So my work has been coming back into making that healthy. So for me, being psychic is all about what really started my journey into it was like realizing that I didn't know where I ended and others began. I felt too absorbed in my people pleasing. I felt like I was feeling everybody else's feelings and emotions, and I wanted healthy spiritual and physical and emotional and mental boundaries. So I started doing psychic work to take time out of life to quiet myself, to meditate, to tune into my own energy, to tune into subtle energies, to learn how to ground and set my boundaries and my etheric energy and my aura, and to begin to notice when someone else's energy was coming in or someone else's thought form was coming in. So that's a powerful way and reason to begin psychic work and to begin psychic healing. For me, it was all about that because I do believe that so many of us, I was listening to someone talk about that. He was a great guy I found on TikTok, I believe. He was talking about, he's a channel, and he's like, high souls experienced traumatic childhoods because we, as the high soul, knew that the best way to achieve growth was to come in hot and have a lot of resistance. And there was this very renowned and well-known psychic in the Boulder area when I was younger, and everyone would go to him. And so I went to him, and it was really funny to me because the first thing he said to me in my session was like, "Oh, wow, you're such a high soul. You're such a high soul. Like, it's such an honor to meet you. It's such an honor to meet you." And I was like so confused because I was like, "You're the psychic. You're the one who's like getting all this information." I wasn't a psychic back then. "How am I a high soul?" And I literally asked him, like, "What do you mean? How am I a high soul?" And he's like, "Oh, you've worked in so many lifetimes, and the things that you've gone through." And now I do try this on for size. I think that this tracks from my experience and what I see from the clients that come to me. High souls, people who often have incredible gifts and psychic abilities, come in and have very challenging childhoods. Why would we not? We're powerful spiritual beings. We're choosing to come in to have an earthly experience. We're having it so that our soul can grow. What better way to grow than to have resistance? So many of us ended up learning to be empaths when we were really young, to be people pleasers, all part of this childhood trauma of having to survive. So then the job, so to speak, as the adult is to integrate that, to heal the wounds, and to look at it from a more empowering perspective that says, I chose that. I came in for that purpose. My angel put me on that path and put those people in front of me so that I could have everything I needed to just really grow and evolve and become the highest version of myself possible. And then we take those people pleasing tendencies and doormat tendencies and empathic feeling everyone around us, and we go within and we do the work to heal and to have healthy boundaries and to set our space and to learn how to no longer do that. And that is the charge of the psychic. That is the charge of the spiritual empath and intuitive. And then inside of doing your psychic work and learning to ground and run your energies and clear stuff out and heal your inner child and forgive the people. We cannot move into empowerment and healing and be the leaders and the thought leaders and the star seeds that we're here to be, the angelic beings on earth that are here to help usher in the Krista, Sophia, golden new age. We can't do that until we do our own forgiving, our own forgiveness, and our own healing. So let go of the words that just point to a thing. Give up feeling resistance to things that are of the soul. And if this speaks to you, honor yourself as the high soul that you are. Make sure you're doing your work to be responsible with your energy and your boundaries, and recognize that you're here to do very important work. And you probably have extrasensory perception to help you with that. So thank you for tuning in today. If you're here and you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. And here is a video you can dive into after this one. See you on the flip side.